Hey guys, and welcome back to this class, Data Science, Deep Learning in Python, Part 2. In this lecture, we're going to talk about different ways to do gradient descent and their advantages and disadvantages. There are three basic types I want to talk about: full, batch, and stochastic gradient descent. We've been using full gradient descent for most of the previous courses. Why is that? Because it makes more sense that you would want to maximize the likelihood over your entire training set. The disadvantage of this is that the calculation of your gradient is now O of n, since it depends on each sample. On the other end of the spectrum, we have stochastic gradient descent. This only depends on the error for one particular sample. You depend on the fact that all the samples are IID, or independent and identically distributed, so that in the long run, your error will improve because all your samples are coming from the same distribution. Now that you've reduced your calculation from n things to one thing, that's a great improvement, but what's the disadvantage? Well, whereas the log likelihood always improves on every iteration of full gradient descent, sometimes the log likelihood can get worse with stochastic gradient descent. In fact, the cost function will behave pretty erratically over each iteration, but it will improve in the long run. What's the happy medium between these two? Batch gradient descent. If you have, let's say, 10k samples, you might want to split them up into 100 batches of size 100 and compute your cost function based on each batch on each iteration. What happens to the cost function in this case? It can still get worse, but it will be less erratic than if you had done pure stochastic gradient descent. I want to take this opportunity to mention that if you want free material related to deep learning, machine learning, and data science, then check out my site at lazyprogrammer.me. I'm always writing new material on these topics, so check it often. There should be a drop-down when you visit the site so you can sign up for my free introduction to data science. It's full of great resources to teach you about Python, algorithms, and data structures, and coupons for my Udemy courses. I also give away coupons on my Twitter, which you can find at twitter.com/lazyscientist, and on my Facebook page, which you can find at facebook.com/lazyprogrammer.me. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like my page on Facebook.